Okay, it's Sunday night. It's time. It's time for cooking for the poor with your host, me, Chef Porardi. I am a four-time Michelin chef, specializing in delicacies that are easy on your pocket and feed a lot of people. Tonight we have a special meal. It was sent in by and paid for by a listener, Irene. Thank you, Irene. She gave me the recipe and she paid for all the groceries. And we're calling it trailer trash casserole. And let's get started. First off, I'm going to make. I can't see. Gotta make sure to get the paint over here. Okay, we're gonna start off by browning. I'm gonna turn it on. We're gonna brown up 1 pound of hamburger. I haven't even started it yet. I just started to break it up. We're gonna season this with. We're going to use a little Mrs. Dash um, onion and herb. We're going to put a little bit of that in there. And then we're also going to put some uh, garlic powder. A little bit of garlic powder, some flavoring. And then we're going to put just a tad of black pepper. Like that. And we're going to round this meat up. Turn the heat up. Get it. Ground the meat up. Turn the heat up. I did. I made a funny. But that's tonight. I hope everybody enjoys this. I've been there's been a lot of discussion about my recipes, and that I am next week. I'm not 100% sure on just what I'm going to be doing yet, whether it'll be dessert or another. But I'm not so think if I do another savory dish, I don't believe it's going to be casserole type. I think we're going to try to do something a little bit different. I've been looking at several recipes and stuff of it, and there's a possibility that we will be making some chicken enchiladas. I'm not 100% sure, but now we got this meat browning up. You want to get the meat browned up. Well, you don't want any redness in the meat, because we don't want anybody to get worms or anything like that. And I don't. I hope nobody gets sick from any of my recipes. I think I do a good job with making sure my meat the proper temperature is cooked all properly. I think it's now we got the heat going to it. Again, the hamburger browned up really good, and then once we get the hamburger browned up real good, we're going to add. I'm using frozen corn, but when you could use just a can of corn also to this. So I'm just going to add what I think is about 10 ounces of corn to this. I'm using frozen corn, of course. I'll just go ahead and add the rest of it. I'm gonna work the corn and the meat all together. I didn't drain it because the corn is going to absorb some of the liquid. Also, it's work is all good. You want to make sure you get all the seasoning in there. I don't think I'm gonna add just a little bit. Whoops, I don't want to add more than that. Add a little bit more. Just that. I'm not adding a lot of salt. I'm not adding any salt. I'm not adding any salt. Let's keep working this out.
Spoon wants to know if you washed your hands.
Of course, I wash my hands. What do you think this is? I think this is some kind of a barbaric food show. Of course, I wash my hands. I showered today, so that's even better. You don't have a been digging in my closet or anything like that. Before anybody asks, I don't want that heat a little bit. To this mixture, we're going to add, we're going to add 10.5 ounces of brown gravy mix, like this. Keep this, stirring this. And you want to heat this. You don't need to heat it a lot. You just want to get some heat in it because you're going to add this to a baking dish and you'll be baking this a little bit later. But I'm going to go ahead and add. I'll go ahead and turn this heat down on this a little bit now. Next up, well, this is simmering a little bit. We're going to take our pan. We're going to add. Um, sorry, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter to the pan. Then we're going to make some instant mashed potatoes. We'll add a little bit of butter. Okay, we don't need it. We're going to add some water to the pan. Yeah, I'm a little lacking for space. I'm trying to make room for everything so everybody can see the whole process. Let's stir this around some more. Oh, that's really good. Oh, that looks pretty good, pretty good. Now we're going to take this and we're going to set this aside carefully, hopefully. Set that aside. Now we're going to add a pan. Whoops, a pan. We're just going to add. We're going to turn the heat up a little. We're going to add some water. We already added 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to add some water. I usually, when I make my instant mashed potatoes, I usually don't measure. I just kind of gauge everything. Because some people like their potatoes a little more, how can I say, a little more runny or firm or that. We're gonna turn the heat up on this. Now, while we're doing that, we can go ahead and go ahead add this meat mixture to our pan. flour, and just work this around and just kind of level it off, everything. Make it look nice and presentable while our butter is water or butter is warming up. Um, we'll get that on high. Set that aside. We'll just leave that right there. Everybody can see it. I hope Irene's watching, and I hope this is close to something that she was.
Irene says you're doing amazing, Steve.
Oh, that's great, great, great. Because I know she says this is something that she said she makes for her family. And it, honestly, the one of the taste testers have looks delicious. I can't wait to dive into this one. So
there's been other comments in the chat, like Amanda said, it looked like somebody ate it and shit it already.
Well, yeah, we know that. We know there are people haters are going to hate.
Spoon asked if you're trying to clog people's arteries.
No. If I was clogging people's arteries, Spoon, I would be putting a lot of salt in it. But
Bubba the Baker says it looks like corn of diarrhea.
Well, unfortunately, it's not the most pleasantly looking. I'm telling you, when it's all done, it really looks pretty good. Now, I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to turn out. You gotta want the water to boil, or boil, and the butter to boil. Bring it to a good boil before I add the instant mashed potatoes. It's not boiling yet. It's getting close, though. It's getting close.
Spoon, I can answer that. He's always putting these in aluminum pans because Steve has an abundance of aluminum pans thanks to DA, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes, DA sent me an abundance of aluminum pans. So it's easy to make. It's actually easy. So that way I can make my taste testers theirs, and then I can make some for myself.
Then he doesn't have to worry about getting the dish back.
Right. Now I'm going to, my water's coming to a boil. Take that off the heat. I'm going to start adding my potatoes. This is the problem that I had earlier with the potatoes. It's kind of hard to gauge how many you need for this. This looks like it's coming out pretty good. I don't add milk to my instant potatoes because I add extra butter to them. But this looks like we got a pretty good consistency here. Not to. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this on top. Yep, you got it right. It's just going to go on top of this. I'll put some more out. And I have these wonderful spatulas from Irene. She also sent me these wonderful spatulas because a couple weeks ago you'll remember that one of my spatulas went bye in the blender. Now you're gonna spread this. This is where I had a hard time. I probably should have made a few more potatoes, but I don't want to make any more. So we're just gonna spread the potatoes out as evenly as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just like any other recipe that the chef makes. You can add, subtract, multiply, divide, whatever you want to do. I'm trying to keep it simple because people have kids, and sometimes kids have different tastes and what have you, and things like that. I know I didn't really. I pretty much ate anything. I didn't get. I got to get my potatoes Well, I wanted them, but that's okay. Now we're going to go ahead and add to the top of this. To the top of this, we're going to add some Coley Jack shredded cheese. Now this you can't be, you don't have to be too stingy with everything. You can just lay it all on there because that's what you want. And you have an 8 ounce package of Coley Jack cheese. You're gonna spread that around. You can get this a little more even. It's covered that way. It covers better. Then after you've added the Colby Jack cheese, you're going to add. I'm using Italian style breadcrumbs. I'm going to just sprinkle the breadcrumbs over. This is just going to give the whole meal a nice, crunchy texture on top. You don't want a bunch. You just want to add so you have a nice meal, nice crunchy top. That
I said Kelly says that she makes this, but not in a casserole form. Hamburger gravy over mashed potatoes with corn as a side dish, like they made in school.
Okay, yeah.
And Tom and Diane are both saying it's pretty much a form of shepherd's pie.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, and that's what Irene and I discussed when we discussed the recipe. Um, yeah, it's good because you have mashed potatoes. They're gonna take this in this form. I'm gonna pop it in the oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes, and then you're going to take it out of the oven after you have the top nice and brown and crispy and all that. Go ahead and and then it's going to be, and then poof, it comes out of the oven and it looks like that, all bubbly and crispy on top.
It is definitely brown.
Yeah, it's definitely brown.
Yeah, you said cook it till it's brown. You have achieved brownness. It is definitely brown. And I'm checking the crispy. Y'all check out this crispy. Listen.
I was worried. Yeah, I was worried. But yeah,
I was watching you make this, and just the name of it had me a little suspect. Trailer trash casserole. And then watching you make it, I was a little more suspect. Like, do I really want to try this? But it actually smells pretty good. It's definitely brown and crispy. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot.
What? I don't think you can go wrong.
I will warn you, though, I have a sinus infection and I can't taste anything. So.
Oh well, that could be good. That could be bad.
So we're about to find out. So,
if you taste it, you know it's good. Dude.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if y'all can see that.
I mean,
granted, the only actual cooking involved was the cooking of a hamburger, but everything else seems to be done all the way through.
Yeah.
And I can smell a little bit of it, but right now, I don't smell so good because of my sinus infection. But
yeah, I smell the Italian and the garlic and stuff. And this,
So let's go ahead and give this a shot, shall we?
let's go ahead and give it a shot.
See if I can cut into some of this crispy
A
top.
little bit of that crispy top.
Yep.
A little bit of those potatoes and some corn
Spoon
and
says, try not to break your teeth.
is that going to
And
break
here we go.
Oh, he took a big old bite. A big old bite. But I don't think you can really go wrong with it. I mean, you can, I suppose, if you don't.
Now this being trailer trash casserole, is it going to make me have meth teeth or anything?
It should. It should.
Okay.
It should.
Well, from what I can taste, the taste is good. The crisp is good.
Well, that's good.
The potatoes are a little loose, but I think that's because of all the liquid that's in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I probably you can maybe this type of casserole would be better if you use maybe tater tots or hash browns or something like that.
I'm digging the mashed potatoes, but maybe make the potatoes with a little less water when you put them in.
Okay, yeah.
Other than that, I don't have any problems with this at all. I was worried that with all the butter and everything that you've been putting in there, that it might harden my arteries, but so far I think we're okay.
It's not that much butter. There's only 2 tablespoons of butter in the potatoes, and that's just because I don't put milk in them. I could have made a little bit of powdered milk to add to the potatoes, which might have made them a little more looser, which would have been good.
I will say this though, I am a fan of this crispy top.
I was a little worried about the crispy top when she told me that. I thought, how is the top? But then the breadcrumbs, and I never just sprinkle breadcrumbs on things. I've always just used them,
right?
It's as a filler or whatever. But
the breadcrumbs actually, they make this meal because otherwise it would just be like almost like a mush or a goulash. But having the breadcrumbs on top and the crispy cheese, that really helps out because you get a balance of textures in there, and it's
right.
I'm a fan of the crispy. It's good stuff.
No, Dale Spoon. Dad didn't break his teeth. He does not. Spooner, I need to have you over at my house and make you a fucking taste tester when I make you eat some of this shit.
Yeah, let him give it a shot. This stuff is actually pretty good.
He thinks he's some punk ass. I'll kick his ass.
This is something I would actually order at a restaurant if they had it on the menu because this is
really
pretty damn good. I would throw some hot sauce on it.
Okay, that's what I was going to suggest. Maybe a little bit of hot sauce on it. Because now I was a little worried. Now, is it salty enough? Because I didn't add any salt at all.
There must be salt in the breadcrumbs because I'm getting some salt. I don't know where the salt's coming from, but it's in there. I mean, it's not too much.
It was salted butter. So it was salted butter.
Okay.
I didn't want to add any salt because of the gravy mixture and that. I didn't want to add any more. That's why I only put Mrs. Dash, onion, and herb.
Yeah, well, it's not overly salty. I can tell that it's there, but only because I'm not a salt fan.
Right. That's good. I was worried about the salt content. And I make some kick-ass spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, the gravy has salt in it.
Yeah. I'm sure if it comes in a can, bag, or jar, it's got salt in it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
But this is
frozen corn.
Yeah. It's not overly salty. It's towards the middle of the potatoes seem to tighten up a little bit. It's like on the edge that they're a little loose. But
because they were thinner. They were thinner on the edge. Yeah. That was my problem. Yeah.
So, all right. So this is pretty good. I would order it in a restaurant because this is a meal right here. You have everything you need right here. So tell me again what's in it.
Okay, we have 1 pound of ground beef. We have
Several seconds of dead air.
one. Well, okay. We're gonna say this. This is how it makes a 8 by 9 by 8 casserole dish. 1 pound of ground beef. Two 10.5 ounce jars of brown gravy mix. I'm gonna say 2 cans. I use frozen corn. 2 cans of frozen or 2 cans of corn, regular corn with the liquid drain. Garlic, salt, and Mrs. Dash onion and herb
Garlic salt.
seasoning.
That's where the salt's coming from.
Oh, okay. Definitely. Then you're going to add to that, after you all that incorporated in your pan, you're going to set that aside. Then you're going to make your instant mashed potatoes. However many, if you want a lot of mashed potatoes, you can make a lot. I'm not a big mashed potato eater, so I kind of fiddle a little bit with it. I added just enough in there to say, "Oh, it's there." You're gonna make your potatoes according to the box. I usually go with 4 servings, which is a cup and a quarter of water, 2 tablespoons of butter, blah 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 blah. Just follow the instructions on your box of your mashed potatoes. Then, after you put your hamburger gravy corn mixture in your pan, you're going to add your layer of mashed potatoes on top of that. Level it all out so it's nice and appropriate. Then you're going to sprinkle. I used 1 package of Colby Jack cheese. Now, you could use any kind of cheese. I could have used pepper jack cheese, which now I'm thinking maybe I should use pepper jack cheese. I would probably
This would
yeah,
be fantastic with pepper jack cheese on it.
pepper jack cheese.
Yeah,
Another
shredded
pepper.
pepper jack or something. This would be fantastic
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. That's what I was just thinking as I was looking at it. But I only had sharp cheddar or Colby Jack, so I just went with the Colby Jack. And then I use Italian flavored breadcrumbs, and you'll just sprinkle those on until you have enough coverage. Then you're going to bake that in your oven at 350 degrees for 30-35 minutes, or until your top is golden brown.
And look at
Oh,
the crisp
oh,
on that.
oh, yeah, that's what you want. That's what you want right there. A little bit of crisp,
Yeah.
a little bit of potato.
You can see how crisp that topping is.
Oh yeah, and
And
I'm
it's
kind of digging it.
that just makes that crispiness just makes the whole dish.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's trailer trash
Well,
casserole.
let's try the trash casserole.
And with all those ingredients, what was your total?
Wow. All my ingredients. We're looking at. Just give me a little minute to get my calculator and my head working a little bit. Corn completion done $2, $4, $8, $8, $8 to $10 for everything.
Okay. And how many servings?
8 to 10.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
And this
8 to
is
10.
just what's in this pan is a full meal. I wouldn't think you would need a side dish or anything to go with it
No, you've
because
got your starch, your vegetable,
your
you,
meat.
you have everything right,
Yeah.
right in the pan.
So
You don't need that.
let's see. You said bake it for 30 minutes. How long was your prep time? 10
First
minutes?
time was about 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, so,
So,
45
45
minutes.
minutes, start to finish.
45 minutes, $8 to $10, and you're going to feed 8 to 10 people with I am declaring to be a damn good meal that you don't need a side dish with.
Yeah, well, I
So,
mean, what you're not even, I couldn't even think of the side dish I don't want to put with it.
oh,
You
there
got your
isn't one.
vegetable.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you could do is maybe serve some butter bread with it or something like that. But
Well,
that's about it.
that'd be almost too much starch because you have the potatoes in here.
Oh, that's true. That's
So
very, very true.
this
That's
is
very true.
you've nailed it once again, Steve. You've epitomized cooking for the poors. You're feeding a whole family for not much money, and that's what this show is all about.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We
Yeah.
try to feed people cheap,
Yep.
cheap,
Feed
cheap, cheap
on a budget,
on a
and this
budget.
this is an excellent example of that. I'm encouraging everybody in here to try this recipe out. You will be pleasantly surprised. Doctor it up a little. Throw some pepper jack. Throw some hot sauce. Change the garlic salt for garlic powder. Whatever you want to do. This is some damn good stuff. I could see myself making this. I would order it in a restaurant.
I think
So
that should be a restaurant. I think somebody should open a restaurant that only make things that are cheap.
yeah.
You go to a hamburger place just to buy a hamburger meal at McDonald's costs you $9 for
Hmm.
one meal. For a family of four, that's $30 to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's
Whereas
ridiculous.
$8 to $10, you're going to feed everybody in the house.
Yeah, then you're
It
gonna
only
have
takes,
leftovers if somebody don't like it. Then you got leftovers.
and it's not hard to do. It's not like there's some fancy cooking skills needed.
Nope, you don't. There's no cutting.
No.
There's very little measuring. You only need to measure if you want to measure for your potatoes. But if you're an accomplished chef like me, you can eyeball stuff and just tell how much
Yeah.
water or whatever you need for the proper consistency.
I got to tell you, I mean, all the things you've made so far on this show, if we could compile that into like a food planner or some kind of meal calendar, you could have dinner every night of the week on the cheap, just using your recipes. Because so far everything's been pretty good, and I'm a fan. You've impressed the shit out of me once again, Steve.
Oh, I appreciate that, Dan. I appreciate that, Dan. I try. I try. I don't like to put a lot of effort into it. Everybody knows I don't want to put a lot of effort into anything.
Right.
But I do like to. I do like when people say, "Oh, that's pretty damn good." I never, people earlier said, "Oh, looks like somebody shit in a pan." Well,
Yeah,
it
and
is. It's not the most appetizing thing in the world.
it's not very eye pleasing to make, but it comes out of the oven looking pretty good. And
Yeah.
I didn't mention the gravy, but the gravy gives it a really good flavor.
Yeah.
It's definitely the base for all of it.
That's it. And that was good because I have never been a gravy maker. I've never been able to make gravy. I got that from my mom. It either comes out like wallpaper paste or water. One of the two. I can't get the consistency just right. So I think out of the can, at least you know your consistency's right.
Yeah, and it's got good flavor to it, and it just wouldn't be the same without the gravy. I'll tell you that.
Oh no,
It's all around good. It's simple. Yeah. It's good. It's cheap. It's easy. And that's what we're here for on Cooking for the Poors.
That's what we do. And don't forget, this is a free preview. If you want to subscribe, you can go to morningdisaster.net and become a subscriber for as little as $5 a month. So you're going to get this show. You're going to get the trivial disaster, no matter, because it's a free show. We're giving you a free preview this week. Again, we're going to get Thursday night. We're going to get Thursday night show a little bit higher up.
Yeah.
But you're going to get a lot.
Yeah. But for your $5 a month, you're getting a good recipe every week. It's gonna make a nice entree or a nice dessert or something for your family, and it won't cost very much at all.
Yeah.
And
It won't. I promise. It won't. Because I don't. I don't pay that much for food.
yeah, and it definitely beats dining out because that's too expensive. It
Oh
beats it
yeah.
beats buying prepackaged meals and stuff like that because those are expensive and they usually have a lot of sodium and stuff like that. And it's as homemade as you can get on a budget, and it's just damn good.
And the good thing with these is you can just give people a spoon and say, "Eat it right out of the pan." You know,
Yeah,
you don't have to
there you
get
go.
plates out. Just give everybody a spoon and say, "Dig in."
Well, I don't know about that, but I guess it can be done. Well,
Well,
nice job, Steve. Way to go.
woohoo! I did it again.
Yeah.
Like I said, next week I'm a little bit torn. I'm thinking. I'm looking. I'm working on a recipe where I think I'm going to make chicken enchiladas.
Oh hell, I'm in.
So I think that's going to be next week. So I think we're going to have chicken enchiladas next week on Cooking for the Poor right here Sunday night at 7 o'clock on the Morning Disaster Network. And
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much, Chef Steve. Excellent job. Thank you, producer Jason, for your help.
yeah, thanks,
Um,
Jason.
make sure everybody comes back tomorrow to check out Trivial Disaster.
Yeah,
And as
that'll
Spooner
probably
said,
be a good one.
yeah, Spooner says, "Watch me cheat on Trivial Disaster. I don't cheat. I'm just smarter than you." So
Yeah,
we'll see everybody again. Thanks for stopping by. You guys have yourself a good evening.
you guys have a good evening. I'm going to go watch football and put my food in the oven
There
and
you
make
go.
it
Good plan.
350 degrees for 30 minutes.
Nice. Alrighty. Thanks,
Y'all
Steve.
have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody, for
Bye.
stopping by. Bye.
Love y'all. Bye.